start the game. I think we're
Yeah,
good.
all right. Now you guys got to get in this because you gotta pretend you're sleuths. I want you to be as outrageous as you possibly can in making up the stories, because that's the only way it's going to be fun. Otherwise, it's going to be boring, which we don't want. Okay, so let's see now. Jeff's tell me what I have to do. I
Share.
have to go back to the share screen again.
Yeah, and it should all be
That's all set. Okay, so that's good. I may have a little technical issues with this because it has been misbehaving. So, all right. I think it seems to be working now. Okay. So, this is a slide we are going to start with. If you remember back in that excerpt, this was the first place after after Prospect Park, or it's the first Brighton Beach stop in it. They go through several on the upper level of the elevated. And so this is, the whole thing is that I'm showing you Brighton Beach here, which I already said. And this is really the street and really the exact place. And I'll point out that the babushka here means matriarch or old woman. And Ivan is the one in the baseball cap. So we'll listen to this again just to remind you of what it was. Wahoo flew at a bullet speed toward Brighton 5th Street, where he spotted Ivan halfway down the avenue talking to a woman in a babushka. She laughed and nodded toward Brighton 6th Street, and Ivan took off at a quicker pace. At the corner of Brighton Avenue and Brighton 6th Street, Ivan hurried into D&G Fruits and Vegetables. Wahoo blinked several times before he realized he could not see Ivan from the street, so he flew to a lamppost 20 feet from the intersection. Okay, and so those are the first two slides. And now, the next slide, we get to the questions. That was just to shake up your memory a little bit. And I have some funny answers, but the idea is to fill in the backstory. For instance, the old woman and Ivan appear to know each other. Who is she, and what is her relationship to Ivan?
So we have to guess.
Yes.
Okay.
Make up anything, just what comes to mind. Okay. Let me finish the questions too, because then it'll all go together. What did Ivan ask her? Remember, he's running to get to D&G Fruits and Vegetables. Does she have a business interest in the Russian mob? If so, what? She's obviously not afraid of him. Could she be a matriarch of the mob? No one suspects an old woman of dirty dealings. Could she be a highly skilled hit person, a ruthless loan shark? Why was Ivan in a hurry? All right. Now, I can give you my answers just to tease you a little bit.
Lily has one in the chat.
Okay, I can't see.
Lily said,
pop it up.
Lily says the old woman was the nurse who delivered him.
Okay.
Very operatic. Yeah.
That's so cute. I was thinking she is like an oracle who keeps having visions, and she can really help out the Russian mob, but they don't take her seriously. And that's why she's stopping him on the street.
And
well,
go ahead.
I heard this, Susan. I heard you putting this together earlier, so I had some time to think about it. And my opinion is that Nikita Khrushchev didn't really die. That he has lived his life in Brighton Beach, and that's him dressed as a woman. So you said be outrageous. That's my opinion.
See, no, I think it was a relative of Putin. That it was maybe someone in Putin's family who lives over here or who is in disguise over here, and she's some sort of one of the inner circle of Vladimir Putin. And she's here to develop business interests and shady dealings to just get more money for Putin to fight the war.
Wow.
I'll share what I made up, which is she's his mother, And he asks, is the boss in today? And she answers, you're looking at her. The old coot died yesterday. And when she was young, she did do both. She was a highly skilled marksman and a ruthless loan shark. And the reason, why did Ivan hurry away? That's nobody got that.
He had unfinished business. He was supposed to. He's making deals, and he had to hurry away because he has business to attend to. That's of a timely nature.
Yeah, I think it has to do with the, the invoice with the polar bear, the exotic meat invoice. He
Right.
has to do a run, a distribution run.
Here's one from Lily.
Lily
Jess, if you
said,
could take a look.
yeah, the old woman told him to go talk to a Sergey, a man who knows many things. Oh, yeah,
Well,
I like that.
I think she asked where the hell the polar bear was and why he didn't have it with him. And she said he better produce it quickly or he's in big trouble. So he laughed nervously and ran away. That's my.
I think the reason he left in a hurry is much simpler. He had to go pee.
Okay.
How many times in New York City do you run quickly because you've got to find a bathroom and there are none?
And there are none, but that's why guys just do it in the corner and in an alley. In Brighton Beach, they'd be in an alley.
Yeah, but look at that street and how many people are on that, and there isn't an alley.
Right.
My dear, having lived there, there is always a place.
Yes, there's always an alley or a place or a.
Let's see. We'll go on to the next one. At the corner of Brighton Avenue and Brighton 6th Street, Ivan hurried into D&G Fruits and Vegetables. Wahoo blinked several times before he realized he could not see Ivan from the street, so he flew to a lamppost 20 feet from the intersection. All right. Ivan came out on Brighton 6th Street. A black baseball cap set backward on his head and a complete chef's outfit had replaced the red cap and zoo uniform. Matryoshka Cafe was next to the rear wall of D&G and displayed a colorful sign featuring Matryoshka over its doorway. Okay, now we know that Ivan has changed his clothes in D&G and is now dressed as a chef going toward Matryoshka. Is D&G Fruit and Vegetables mob-owned? What is D&G's real business? Is Ivan really a chef, or is that a cover for spying on other mob members? And how and why are Matryoshka and D&G connected?
Oh, I think D&G Fruit and Vegetables and Matryoshka are mob run, and those two are in cahoots. And their real business is this illegal meat business that they're involved in. And Ivan, I think, is basically a spy, or he's like a runner, for information. He's like kind of a runner, errand boy. What is it that they call the people that deal with illegal? Yeah, he's like a foot soldier.
Well, within the Russian mob structure, unlike Italian mob, they have cells and they're all disconnected. And there's a head called the pashpa, I think, at the top, and he controls the 4 cells from above. And they have what is called a brigadier that goes from him to each of the cells. And note the brigadier is the only person that sees him. None of the others know him. And then each cell has 2 spies that spy on the brigadier to make sure he's not cheating them and taking money off the top and all of that. And Ivan fits that spy.
Lily has a comment in the chat.
Okay.
Lily's comment, D&G is mob-owned. They run crystal meth, and D&G moves the product, but it's cooked at Matryoshka. Matryoshka. Ivan is a Columbia University chemistry major dropout who cooks the meth.
Ah,
Brava.
that is good. Okay, we're going to go on. Okay. Whoops, did I go too far? Yes. From his vantage place on the building, Wahoo spied a brick-colored tile floor, several utility sinks, and various restaurant supplies on metal shelving. Ivan placed a portable conveyor belt on top of the metal staircase for the delivery men to unload the heavy boxes into the basement. When they finished, he retracted the conveyor belt while the delivery men shut and locked the double doors behind them, leaving Ivan in the building. Whoops, I missed it. Okay. From his vantage place on the building, Wahoo spied a brick-colored tile floor,
I already did
several
that one.
utility sinks, and various restaurant supplies.
All right, here we are. And what happens here is that when it's in normal vision, my slides are numbered, which my instructions are here. But in this view, I don't see the slide numbers. So I'm guessing. All right, what is really in the boxes? Yes, there is meat, but is that all? And Lily sort of already answered this. Are they just delivery men or much bigger up in the mob? Do they work with Ivan? Ivan opens the cellar doors for the delivery people and he chats with them. So why do they close and lock it with him inside? Why do the delivery men have a key to the doors? Do they come back when everyone is gone? They already had keys to the door, so why did he meet them and unlock it?
Right.
You tell us.
No, you tell me.
Okay.
I feel like there might be a living animal. Like
Mm.
they need more meat and they can't just keep stealing meat or stealing animals from the zoo. So I'm thinking a baby female polar bear who can one day mate with the polar bear they're gonna steal, and they just have a polar bear breeding ring.
And one thing that wasn't, well, that is actually not so far off because they're trying to get Ivan and his uncle, and later on a hired hitman who's not in this scene. They were rare animal poachers. They would be the people that would go to countries and take rhinoceros horns and all of that, and they sell them to and this is actually factual. They sell them to the Asian countries because they use them for ancient medicine, and
Right.
like bile, bear bile cures all of these illnesses, and his uncle is sick. So that's why they need the polar bear. And it's in raw supply. But if you look at all the meats on that list, a lot of those are not supposed to be taken and certainly not imported internationally.
Lily has a comment in the chat.
Oh, okay. Somebody read,
Lily?
I can't see it.
I got it. Lily's guess. Under the meat is packs of money. Ivan works with them, but knows they could turn on him at any time. It's good.
Yeah.
So he's paying them off. Yay.
Yeah.
Cash.
That
Cash
is,
money. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
good. Well,
Keep
I'll
your
let you all,
enemies close.
next time I write a book, we'll all just gather and
I think you and Lily need to collaborate. That's what I
Yeah.
think needs to happen.
okay. All right.
You're a good team.
Several hours later, the lights in the building dimmed. As at most restaurants in the metropolitan area, several Spanish-speaking dishwashers and prep cooks opened the metal doors and began hauling large bags of refuse up the stairs. Out came stacks of cardboard boxes banded together, several blue bags of bottles and cans, and one clear bag containing paper. Recycle day, said Wahoo to himself. I may find something useful in all that paper. Wahoo waited for Ivan to appear. The restaurant was empty and dark, and the doors were closed. Where was he? A light popped on in the basement under D&G Fruits and Vegetables. Were the two buildings connected underground?
Okay, now are the Latino workers hired legitimately or are they illegals working for pennies? Were they hired because they don't speak Russian and therefore can't spread what's being talked about? Or what is really in the two buildings? Are there businesses underground? And if so, what? Because you notice there is a light that came on, and then Ivan goes back and forth between the two buildings.
Right.
I think Lily already answered that.
Yeah, she did. She beat us to it.
I buy that they're Latino workers who are hired illegally and working for pennies, and because they don't speak Russian
Yeah.
for all of the reasons.
Now, what is really in the two buildings? There's obviously a full underground that is operating.
The
Right.
meth lab.
I think, yeah. And I think it's also their headquarters is probably like computers connected to the dark internet, the dark
The
illegal
dark web.
internet, the dark web. Yes.
Mhm.
I think they probably are all doing that kind of business online on the dark web and making plans to export illegal meat and do other illegal kind of uh, business. And also, they probably have their export of illegal substances, including meth and including unlawful meat. They probably have a network of people in customs and shipping and all of these people that are working for them and have to keep their mouth shut or else pow.
Well, and they also, in reality, they are the Russian ones are also known as enforcers, loan sharks, um,
Right.
hitmen, heavy muscle. So I think one of the businesses is that they probably bring them downstairs to rough them up or extort them or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. Ah,
Lily said in the chat, the meth lab is underground. The Latino workers are undocumented.
Okay.
I think
absolutely.
we're quite unanimous here.
Wahoo waited another hour before he investigated the clear recycling bag. He balanced on one foot and undid the tie with his beak and the other foot. Then he reached inside and began pulling out items. First, a Cyrillic newspaper, useless since it was in Russian. Next, an envelope, and then an invoice. Now that looks interesting, he mused. There were pictures of a seal, a polar bear, freeze-dried strips of meat, a muskox, and a caribou. Doesn't look like your ordinary meat selections to me.
What is implied by the meat list of the seal, polar bear, freeze-dried strips? We've kind of covered this, and caribou in the first slide. Who is Ivan? We'll skip that one since we've already talked about it. Who is Ivan talking to on the phone, and what was he saying? Did Ivan find out something while spying and is reporting it to his boss? And what's the first thing Wahoo did when he got home to his Fifth Avenue apartment?
Mm.
I
Well,
think
I would say that Wahoo had a nice stiff wet drink. He made himself a tiny raven-sized martini, uh,
I think so.
dry, very dry and with an olive.
Well,
think
no,
you-
I think with his accent, I think he'd like bourbon and branch water.
All
I think a mint julep.
I
One
mean,
of the jokes in the book is that he cultivates. I couldn't do it, but he also dresses up in a vest, and where he had tags when he was in the Arctic, he took the tags out and he makes winglings out of women's earrings that he finds on the street,
no,
and he wears spats with his vest. And he speaks with a Southern accent because he thinks it's genteel and befitting his sophisticated status. But he's never been south of New Jersey.
oh, that's funny.
But he drinks mint juleps, I think.
Lily said Wahoo had a bath in his silver tub, which is also exactly what I would guess.
Yeah.
Yep. And he stole that from Sotheby's.
Mhm.
Huh.
Right.
Ravens by nature steal things, and they're incredibly clever and make tools.
Mhm.
There is one
And
story
drinks.
of a raven that a truck came by every day and dropped nuts and things like that on the ground at the stop sign, but the sign changed too quick for him to dash down and get it. And he figured out a way to rig the timing by sticking something in it or something so that he could get it. They're quite bright.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, now the last question, and then we're all done, is how many ravens did you see?
Oh, in the original presentation.
If anybody can guess the number original, I counted all of them several times because I kept miscounting. Just guess, and we'll see who gets the closest.
And you
Hmm.
get a prize, right?
I will say 10 to start.
10. Lily says 5.
Okay, keep 10.
I think she's close. I would say maybe 5, 6.
No, you're nowhere near close. There are 25.
Oh my goodness.
25 different Raven pictures.
I mean, within the chapter, I should say, not this little excerpt.
Oh,
Within the
I understand.
chapter is what I meant.
Oh, I see.
Well, then, well, I thought you were talking about just this slide.
No, I guess I didn't do that correctly. I meant within the chapter because there are 34 slides when I did the thing, and I think we can close this down now. I hope I do this right.
Yeah. In case anyone has to head out because we're at 8:30 and I just want to be respectful of your time, I'm going to drop some links in the chat. So if you want to grab the ebook, audiobook, paperback, and the prequel, which is free, I threw that at the bottom as well. The prequel, yeah, so
Excellent.
same characters, very different plot line, and you can grab that on Susan's website.
I think that's
Brava.
about it for tonight. Thank you. And thank you all for coming. I'm sorry the other people didn't get to make it. There were 3 or 4 others that I knew of that had planned to come, so probably something came up. Okay, well, thank you.
Right.
I want to thank Jess for helping me. She's been my
Yay.
guardian angel for a few months now.
Oh, you're
Yay.
so
Yes,
sweet.
thank you.
I feel the same as we talked about today. So just having
Okay.
Susan, my weekly schedule has been really nice for me as well. And this story and just Susan's imagination has been really nice. And it was very lovely to meet everyone else. Lily, your imagination is quite magnificent
Well,
too.
she's also a writer, and
Ah,
Barrett Cobb is a writer.
okay.
Ned's
That's
an
nice.
artist,
Nice.
and Anna
Artist.
was a singer like me. We sang together many times.
Oh, that's lovely.